making her debut. She been on TikTok with me. When we was doing the all female club, y'all was trying to jump on me. And she got in there and made some good points. Welcome Jaquina Johnson to the Hit Show podcast, y'all. Give her a round of applause. Doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm good. I'm glad you could be on the show because we just did the me and Dan the man just did the dating apps and escort sites and how men use those sites, to try to get women in different ways by dating or try to do certain transactions to get what they want out of them, right? And I
Right.
brought up, well, the women really don't know who they're dealing with till they meet up with them. So, do you feel like it's safe nowadays to date men online with all this human trafficking going on and women getting kidnapped?
No, it's definitely not safe. And I say that because from my experience, a lot of men are so quick to go to a woman's house or ask to go to her house without actually knowing her. And it's just like, from a woman's perspective, like a lot of men end up getting robbed or set up because they're so quick to try to get to a woman's like place, or they're quick to invite her over to his place without actually knowing who she is, like nothing about her, like literally nothing at all. So no,
Yeah.
it's not safe. And then on top of that, like a lot of men ask to come to your home without knowing you, and that's just common sense. Like you shouldn't ever let a man come into your home without knowing them, especially like who they are. And I know for me personally, I'm not a fan of meeting people off of dating sites because it's social media, and you are able to create who you want to be on there instead of who you actually are. So a lot of people lie about who they are, their names, addresses, what they do for work, if they have kids or not. Like you literally are putting yourself in a dangerous game when it comes to online dating. Like of course there's proper ways to do it, but is it dangerous? Yes, absolutely. You know how many women have gotten killed from going on like dates online and meeting up with people they don't know? A lot. And it's sad that it has to even be said, but yeah, online dating is really sad. It's
So
scary.
you
Like I'm
you
not a big
said the
fan.
men are like real thirsty to come to your
Yes, like
house. So that's for
desperate.
you. That's like a red
Yeah,
flag because like why are you so thirsty to come to my house and like we could meet in
exactly.
public somewhere or like a park or a beach,
Yes.
somewhere public where there's other people rather than I barely know you. You sent me two messages. Now you want to come to my house. Makes me kind of think
Yes.
you're gonna try to do something to me.
Yes, and that's usually how it goes. They're like, "Oh, I just want to chill. I don't really like to go out." Like, come on now, we're grown. We all have jobs, I would hope, and a vehicle or transportation or money. Like, there's no reason why you should be suggesting to chill at somebody's place at the age like that. That's like high school stuff. Right. No. I agree. And honestly, that brings me back to a situation that I was in a few years ago. And not that this was somebody that I was dating. He was just one of my guy friends. But the way it looked was just terrible. So me and one of my guy friends went out to lunch one day. He had just gotten back from being overseas from the military. And he had a girlfriend that at the time, and he broke up with her over the phone. Over the phone, broke up with her. Hasn't talked to her, anything like that. But the problem was that when they were in a relationship, they were still sharing each other's location. So like she could see like, where he was or whatever. So we had went out to get some food at a little restaurant, and then we had walked across the street from the restaurant to like a little cookie shop to get something else, like as a snack. And one of my friends from college, he texted me. He was like, "Hey, are you out with a guy right now in such and such area?" I'm like, "Yes." Like, how'd you know that? And he was like, "I'm doing a Uber driver right now," and he was like, "I just picked up this girl, and she told me to come bring her to where her boyfriend is, and I think you're with her boyfriend." I was like, "What are you talking about?" He was like, "Yeah, like we just saw y'all go across the street to the cookie shop," and I was saying, So I'm looking crazy. I'm like, what is going on? And he was like, yeah, the girl's in the car crying. Like she's upset because her boyfriend broke up with her over the phone and she thinks that he's been cheating with you. I was like, oh no, this is really bad. Keep in mind, I don't know who this girl is. Like, I immediately started like freaking out. I'm like, oh no, like, what is she trying to like, plot something? Because you, like, I'm not trying to be funny, but us as women, we're very emotional. And when you think you got cheated on, like, that's like one of the worst things ever to somebody. Like, of course, you're gonna be irrational, one to lash out, go crazy. And then you gotta think, like, you see this man that has broken up with you over the phone and now he's out with another girl. It's like, okay, like, what's going on? So I was like, okay, we need to figure this out. Now, granted, nothing happened, but it's just simple fact of like, you have to be careful with people. Like, I don't know that girl. She knew where I was, but I didn't know her, and that she knew where I was. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's why I'm saying, like, it's just simple stuff that you just cannot do. And that could easily apply to the same situation if you were going out on a date with somebody or meeting up with somebody and, their previous partner has their location and they're trying to see what they're, up to. So that's another thing, too. Like, you just don't know what type of situation somebody else was in, prior to, getting with you or meeting you. That's to really be careful. Never know. So not that we were dating, but it's just like the fact that she was able to pull up on him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that was just really scary to me, and it made me feel really uncomfortable.
And
Cause I was like, what?
you took the words out of my mouth when you talk about locations. I'm too grown for that. Okay. If you got to share locations with somebody all the time, it's like you're their child. If you got to watch somebody 24 hours, that's too much of a job. But I will say this because that's good. Out on a date, you don't know who has that person's location. Like a lot of women that even when they're broken up with the dude, they still want to know everything he's doing if he's with somebody. So they still want that location to be shared. And I think
Right.
that's real dangerous because you're trying to go out on a peaceful date and enjoy yourself, not knowing you could be being stalked the whole time and something could happen to you.
Yeah, it's really
I think it's
scary.
dangerous.
And I even brought it up to him. I was like, hey, like, because I didn't, although I knew because my friend texted me because he was her Uber driver, but I didn't know if he knew. He probably didn't know, bless his heart. But I had brought up to him, like, after the fact, I was like, hey, like, did you know your ex girlfriend, like, tried to pop up on, like, you? And he was like, I didn't find out till after the fact. He was like, I'm so sorry. Like, I didn't know. And it kind of made me mad a little bit because it's just like, he should have brought that up like as soon as he knew. Like, granted, I knew first because my friend texted me, but he kind of made it sound like it was okay. And I cut him off like that because now you're playing with my life over you doing
Exactly.
something senseless. And I just told him, I was like, if you're gonna break up with somebody, you need to probably do that in person instead of just breaking up with somebody over the phone and like, leaving them in location because when you break up with somebody, you have to do it in a mature way. Even though sometimes, depending on the other person, it may not be mature to them, but as long as you did what you're supposed to do, you got your ducks in a row, you have nothing to worry about. Nothing to worry about.
Sometimes. Because some
Yeah.
people won't accept it.
Yeah.
Some
Some
people
people won't
won't
accept it.
accept
Right. And you
and
can't
that's
help that
real
either, but
dangerous.
just with the way that he handled the situation, like just rubbed me the wrong way. And he probably forgot to turn off his location once they did break up. But that's how small mistakes like that can cost you your life. Those small little things that you forget to do can cost you your life, if not somebody else's life. Because I didn't know that girl. She could have came up and pulled up on us and shot me, shot him, caused a scene. Like you just never know because we didn't know. At least I didn't know. I don't
Exactly.
know if he ever, but it's just small stuff
Dave,
like that that you have to be aware of.
I'm gonna get Dave's perspective. Dave's a little bit older than us. He don't really use the online.
Right. Yeah.
You can actually feel the person's energy instead of somebody making something up over the phone, then you good to go. But that online dating, that's for the birds, perverts, weirdos, or whatever. You never know what you're going to get. You might meet a nice person. All right, and like that's one other. But what's that? That's like a rolling. That's like what rolling is a seven in the crab game back to back. That's like rolling three sevens back to back. So yeah, so at the end of the day, no, that's not that online looking for love. Uh, if you can't find love in person, you got a serious problem. And then most of the time, people looking for the wrong love.
Mm-hmm.
You got the single mamas out here, they internet bopping. They internet bopping, dude to dude, and these dudes is coming into the kids'
Yeah,
life.
it's the same thing with single dads too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the single dads. Oh Lord, you know what? Just being a single dad, I got to protect my kids from these weirdos. Period.
Yep. And that's another thing uh, with online. People online faking, like, yeah, I really love kids. And these people could be predators. You know what I'm saying? And I've seen some people meet somebody online, bring around their kids. There's women I've dealt with for 3 or 4 months that have never even seen my kids. Not because there's nothing wrong with it. I just don't bring everybody around my kids. And
Yeah.
a lot of men will prey on single mothers because they know they're vulnerable as far as having a male.
Yep. Yeah, I agree. I think I think that social media can be used, of course, to like get information out there, seek new information, find things out. But people have also used it as a way to like be so much behind the screen that it is hard to meet people in person. Like even like I'll say I'm 24, so like my generation, just got to experience the generation of still going outside before technology took like a big like full swing. So watching like technology grow over the years, I've grown has been a tremendous change. Like people don't know how to have conversations. They don't know how to engage with you in person. They don't know like how to like interact with anybody. Like it's honestly really, really weird. And I also have sisters that are a little bit younger than me. So like watching them like grow up being around technology a lot more, like it's kind of affected them too in a way because they're kind of like, glued to their phones. So I think dating's only going to continue to get worse in my opinion because now you have iPad kids. So like everybody grows up now, like being stuck like to a TV or to a computer or to a phone. So I think the social disconnect is only going to grow like with everybody because nobody's used to like face-to-face social interaction. And I think COVID had a little bit to do with that as well. Like everybody was kind of like stuck inside.
No,
Like,
no, that was going on before COVID, boo boo.
yeah, but
That was
I'm
going
just
on
saying, like, I
way
think
before
COVID
COVID.
has made some of that like worse though. Like, especially like with mental health, like people are still struggling, like trying to, I guess, find their way back or whatever. So I think that social media is just gonna keep like increasing the divide, like when it comes to like dating. I mean, that's also why the marriage rate in the US is also like declining as well. Like a lot of people
Yeah.
aren't getting married.
Well,
Yeah.
the
And if
marriage
they are
rate
married,
is
they're getting a divorce. So it's pretty bad.
the
Yeah.
marriage rate is actually declining because
Yeah,
people
it's
see
declining and the divorce rate is going up.
because it's more beneficial to get divorced than it is to stay married. There's so many benefits you get when you get divorced.
Yeah.
I seen a lady I just posted. She had a whole divorce party and she was happy. I'm like, people are happier getting divorced because they know I'm about to get paid and I ain't got to deal with nobody. I don't have to do nothing to get this money.
No,
Yeah,
I
I've
Which is
wouldn't
been hearing the
crazy.
same.
necessarily. I wouldn't necessarily say that it's about the money with the divorce now. It's mainly about people finding out who the other person is. See, once
Yeah.
they get past the honeymoon stage, it's like once they get past that honeymoon stage and you barely seeing each other. Y'all walk past, you going to work, she going to work. Y'all walking past each other. Then, all right, bills is coming up. Ain't nobody screwing no more. All right, so the husband probably got somebody he looking at.
Yeah.
The girlfriend got somebody she's looking at, and it make them the world because these two other people was making the world to this couple. Meanwhile, the couple was busy drifting apart. Oh, you know what? I think we should get a
Yeah.
divorce.
I think one thing that I find interesting is I've been seeing a lot of older women and men that have been married for like 15, 20 years that are divorced. Like, I think that's super interesting to me. Like, these are couples that have been together like for a while and they're like, oh, I want to get divorced. So I'm not sure what's going on with everybody. Like, I've been seeing more people, like you said, get divorced now than anything. And they're happy about it. They're like, I'm good with that. And a lot of them don't want to remarry. Like, they're like, oh, I'm okay with never getting remarried again. And
Well,
also, on top of that, I've also been hearing a lot of women tell me, like, oh, don't ever get married. Like, you're not going to like it. It's not worth it. So you just hear a lot of different things from older people. And I just think it's so interesting because, your elders are supposed to be the people that you go to for like advice and wisdom. But that's what I've been hearing a lot. Like, don't get married. Like, stay by yourself. It's not worth it. So I don't know. Like, there's something going on with like literally all age groups right now.
got you.
Yeah. And then part of it too, a lot of it is when they say the man is cheating, he done gave her perfect opportunity. Hey baby, you know what? I slide to the hotel. Well, honey, I ain't feeling it. I'm tired from work. So in his mind, like, damn, all right, I can't get a plate. I can't get laid. Hold on. And then you got the cleanup woman. And the cleanup woman slides in there. She doing all the
Yeah.
good shit. So now the wife just found herself complacent. Now bring me his check.
I think it honestly goes both ways because I know, like, from experiences that have heard other women, they've been telling me that, like, oh, he's unemotionally available. He's not at home. He works all the time. Like, he never helps me with the household duties or the kids. So they find somebody else as well. And a lot of times when you have couples like that, both of them are usually, like, out doing their own thing anyways. And some couples, they know that their husband or wife is out with other people and they stay together because they can't afford to get divorced. So, like, they're like, okay, we'll stay together. Stay married for XYZ benefits or for the kids or whatever, but I'm gonna do my thing, you do yours. I've seen a lot of that happen as well. And of course you have swingers, they're also okay with that also. So some people for some people it's cheaper to stay married on paper than to actually get divorced.
Kind of like go online and pretty
Yeah,
much
you have access to so
have
many people.
the other sex pretty much. It's easy like to go online and have somebody tell you what you want to hear that you're not hearing at home. I think
Yeah,
that's the biggest problem. You
Right.
have a
I think so
stranger
too.
that knows nothing about you telling
Yeah.
you you're wonderful, you this and that, and they don't know you're a psychopath, but it sounds good because the person that you're with really knows you. And so it
Yeah,
sounds so sweet.
I agree.
You know
Yeah,
what
I
I'm
mean that's
saying?
just the crazy part about social media. Like I feel like we weren't meant to have this much access to people. Like I should not be able to go on my phone to like Snapchat or Instagram or TikTok and like be able to like just talk to whoever I want to. Like that's very dangerous, and a lot of people do that. So like you can meet somebody from across the world and go meet up with them next week. Like social media has given us like literally instant access to whoever we want. Honestly, like literally whoever you want, whenever you
That's the
want.
problem.
Right. And not to mention, we in the age of perversion. If you
Yeah.
notice, you turn on the TV, it's somebody up there screwing. You turn on the radio, they singing about screwing. You turn on the rap station, he talking about screwing. You
Yeah.
turn on the news, somebody that screwed somebody. I mean, at the end of the day, it's like, wait a minute, you putting all this perversion out here.
Everything is over sexualized. That's the problem.
Yeah, it's everywhere. Same thing with the kids. Like you have 5-year-olds that are singing like "Sexy Red" and other things like that, but they can't tell you what the name is. Like it's pretty crazy. And I say that because I work with kids, so the things that I see like at 2, 3, 4 years old, I shouldn't be seeing. But the parents are okay with it. The parents know what's going on, and they're like, okay.
I ain't gonna lie, I didn't like Sexy Red, but then when I went to New Orleans, they played it, it just hit me. And I like now when I hear Sexy Red, I turn up. I'm like, you know what? I'm not hating on her because she has
I definitely think that she's somebody, for club music. Like I think her
it's good club music.
for club music.
It is.
But you shouldn't be having like kids singing that. Like
No.
they shouldn't be singing that.
But see, this is the thing about music. Music is one of them things that unify people.
Right.
And they twisted it. They twisted it where they twisted it where the people is moved by the music. So now we can change the tempo of the music and change the vibration of the people. Mm-hmm. So if you notice, as music progressed, people start getting aggressive, hateful type shit and everything. All the bad stuff started coming out. But then I'm thinking about my parents' day. They had the Isley Brothers, So a little kid would be he'd be singing the Isley Brothers, or she'd be singing a Tina Turner song, the little girl.
Yeah, it's crazy. So you guys can find me on TikTok and Instagram at Jaquena_Johnson. My first name is spelled JAQUENA_Johnson. Okay. Okay, thank you.
Bye-bye.
Good night.